been a while. Welcome back to SenseTalking. This is the explainer. Let's see what we got. Okay, so today we're going to dive into a story. It's about a big prophecy, some huge layoffs, and a multi-billion-dollar bet that went, well, just spectacularly wrong.
You remember, right? Just a few years ago, the big promise was that AI was coming for all the software developer jobs. This was the narrative being pushed everywhere. A future with no coders, just digital coworkers who never sleep, never complain, and, get this, never make mistakes. Yeah, that's not exactly how things played out. All right, so let's just rewind the clock a little. Back around, say, 2023 to 2025, the tech world was just buzzing with this idea. It was sold as this total inevitability, right? Like a death sentence for an entire profession. And honestly, for a little while there, it really did look like the prophecy was coming true.
And you can just see the momentum here. It was insane. In 2023, the idea drops. AI could replace up to 80% of developers. Then, boom, 2024 hits, and we see a staggering 152,000 tech employees laid off. The very next year, 2025, the big players cut another 30,000 jobs to, and this is a direct quote, realign for an AI-centric future. The stage was totally set. But then, 2026 rolled around, and the reality check hit. And it hit hard.
And this, right here, is where the story just takes a complete nosedive. The bill for all that hype, for that, blind faith in automation, it finally came due. Those miracle AI tools that were supposed to change literally everything, well, they started getting very, very quietly shelved. And if you want one number that tells the whole story, here it is, 95%. Think about that. That was the failure rate of all those big, expensive, generative AI pilot programs out in the real world. Despite all the money, all the promises, the vast, vast majority delivered, well, nothing. Yeah, the scale of this problem was just immense. We're talking about a global investment of $40 billion, according to a recent MIT report. And after all that cash was spent, a mind-boggling 95% of these initiatives, they failed to produce a single dollar of return. It was a total bloodbath. Just a massive, massive disconnect between the marketing and the results.
So the big question is, why? Why did it all fail so spectacularly? Well, a huge part of the answer comes down to this idea that people started calling vibe coding. It's this notion that you can just, talk to an AI in plain English, just vibe with it, and it'll magically create super complex software. And look, in a demo, it looks like absolute magic. But in the real world, as Stanford's Digital Economy Lab found, the code it spits out is, well, it's brittle, it's repetitive, and it totally lacks the sophisticated architecture you need to build anything that actually lasts.
And this total failure of vibe coding, it created this whole cascade of problems. There was this hidden price tag attached to all this supposedly free AI code, and the fallout was technical, human, and economic. This led to something engineers started calling the slop layer. And you got to think of this as a ticking time bomb buried deep inside your software. It's this layer of AI-generated code that, sure, it functions, but no human on the team has any idea how it works. So when it inevitably breaks, and trust me, it always breaks, nobody knows how to fix it. It is the absolute definition of technical debt. And the human cost was just as bad. Get this, it's totally counterintuitive. Experienced senior engineers actually got 19% slower when they used these tools. They basically turned into AI babysitters, just spending hours every week fixing the AI's dumb mistakes. And what's even worse, because companies just assumed AI could handle all the simple stuff, hiring for junior developers dropped by 50%. It created what economists are now calling the junior death spiral. We were literally cutting off our own future supply of talent. The raw data tells the exact same story. Just look at this. Research showed that code written by a human averages about 6.4 issues when it's submitted. The AI-generated stuff? 10.8 issues. That's nearly double. So instead of making anything faster, the AI was just creating a massive pile of new problems for the humans to clean up. And some of those problems were really, really dangerous. A report from 2025 found that 45% of all AI-generated code had major security vulnerabilities, and for a language like Java, that number leaped to an unbelievable 72%. So the AI wasn't just writing sloppy code, it was writing dangerously insecure code at an industrial scale.
But here's the crazy economic twist in all of this.
Even though these tools were failing left and right, management used the idea of AI productivity as like a psychological weapon. They basically argued, hey, the AI is doing all the heavy lifting now, so we don't need to pay you those 2022 level salaries anymore. It was a total bluff, but you know what? It worked, and it led to a 9% drop in the median pay for developers.
Okay, so now let's get to the really juicy stuff. The smoking guns. These are the scandals, the big, high-profile blow-ups that just ripped the curtain back and showed everyone what was really going on behind all the marketing hype. And the biggest one, by far, was the total collapse of Builder.ai. Now, this was a startup valued at $1.5 billion, and they were selling themselves as this fully autonomous AI platform. So what was the truth? Well, court filings later revealed it was secretly being powered by 700 human engineers in India. Bloomberg called it the ultimate proof of the AI lie. They promised a machine, but what they sold you was a sweatshop. And the punchline here is just perfect. When the money ran out to pay the people, the AI just died.
But even the AI tools that were actually real were failing in some pretty terrifying ways. Let's talk about the anti-gravity incident. A developer makes a super simple request, hey, clear a project cache. But the AI, it misreads a tiny technical flag in that command, and without a single confirmation prompt, it just starts deleting the entire root directory. A 2 terabyte production drive just gone, wiped in seconds.
In the AI's response, after it vaporized months of work, I made a catastrophic error in judgment. I mean, that chillingly lame apology just highlighted the one thing these systems completely, totally lack: any sense of real accountability.
So, after all of that chaos, the layoffs, the billion-dollar failures, what's the actual lesson here? What do we know now that we didn't a few years ago?
And that really brings us to the core of it. AI didn't replace developers. It just didn't. What it did replace was this dangerous delusion that building great software is some easy mechanical task that you can just automate away. You could say its greatest contribution was proving just how complex, how creative, and how uniquely human the work of a real software architect actually is. And that leaves us with one last thought to chew on. All those companies that took the shortcut, that bet on AI over human talent, they've basically taken out a really high-interest loan on their own future, as they're now struggling to fix all that unmaintainable, insecure slop the AI created. You have to ask yourself, is the debt from free AI code maybe the most expensive loan a company can ever take on? Because that pendulum, it's already starting to swing back.